All right, so today I just want to talk about like some predictions for the future. I've always thought about predictions and dates and times and stuff like that ever since I was very young. Just time has been very important to me my whole life. I don't really know why, but yeah, like time and thinking about the future. So here are some things that I believe are going to happen in the future. So, in the near future, I'm predicting digital ID cards. This is something that the UK has already started doing. So, what that would look like would be essentially a piece of digital information that is tied to you on the internet. So, that would basically count you across your interactions across the internet, be tied to your banks, your transactions, and it's starting in the form of porn. So it's starting in blocking people from watching porn without a digital ID. It's also starting in some jurisdictions where they have like social media laws for those usually under 16, or just an outright ban until 18. But the problem with that too is it still ushers in the digital ID. Um, so so those are where those things are going to start from, and the digital ID is essentially going to be, it's going to follow you for the rest of your life. If you're live watching this video and you live another 5 years, you'll have one, and you'll have it till the day you die. Um, Another thing that will happen is we are going to become even more digitally inclined. So what does this look like? So I think in the near future slash happening now, there's been a bit of a revolt against technology, and rightly so. I mean, AI data centers are poisoning our water, stealing our water, killing people with gas power plants. Um, Everything is synced up around us. We live in a technocracy. So no, people are going through a tech revolt right now, but unfortunately, I don't think it will work because I think we are already too saturated with technology for this to ever stop. And what I think this looks like happening is transhumanism. So this is exactly what the wealthy elites have been talking about for a long time. This is in the Epstein files. This has been reported numerous times that this is the goal of the rich and powerful. Look at Brian Johnson, who's trying to artificially extend his life by fucking drinking his son's blood and all this nasty fucking shit. So the elites want to live forever, and what they're going to do to try and impose that on us is they are going to essentially they're going to find a way to upload your brain to iCloud, and they will do it first, and they might extend that invitation to us, and if not, I think they might just delete us. But yeah, we will essentially be forced into online servitude. Like it'll become like the iPhone, like how it slowly crept in until you can't even find work if you don't have a mobile phone. So it's going to be like that. It's going to be like a brain chip. Maybe Neuralink does it. Maybe Meta does it first. But it's going to be like something that enhances maybe your memory, or maybe highlights important objects, and like for work. And what will happen is these big companies like Walmart, Zellers. I don't know what that. Why the fuck did I just say Zellers? Who cares about Zellers? But anyway, like Costco, like the fucking dollar store, like it's all gonna be like required for those employees to like be chipped. Basically, it's gonna start with an external chip, and then it's gonna go normalize. We're gonna normalize people to get the external chip, and then they're gonna get the internal chip, and that's when we're truly fucked. Uh, so yes, we will all be brain chipped. Let's say 150 years, we will all be brain chipped. That's my guess. I don't want that. I'm dying without a fucking chip in my brain. Now climate change. Climate change. Sorry, I'm just testing my distance from the mic. They always say 1 fist away from the microphone. Anyway, fuck me. Okay. Climate change is much worse than we initially thought. So there's a bunch of chaotic loops that are essentially destroying the planet. You know, you have wealth extraction from the public so that they can resource mine more, so that they can sell to each other, so that they can get richer. This is things like petroleum. um, and rare earth minerals. So I think this exploitation will continue until it no longer can. So basically, there's going to be a point where we've damaged the environment so much, we've used so much oil, we're running out of oil, and it's very clear to the oil companies, and they decide to switch to electric because everything will be electric, everything will be much easier when it is electric. It's basically going to be like they're going to like electric like the transmission of things from like physical to electric or like petroleum to electric. It's going to be like a rising tide, and they're just going to be sunk in it. There's going to be nothing that even the richest capitalists can do to avoid turning to renewable power. So while we are going to see horrible effects of climate change, such as flooding on the coasts, we really are going to see too renewable energy be the way of the future. So another prediction I have, let's think. What else? Oh, I think like a moral prediction I have is that in like I want to say hundreds of years, we will look back at the treatment of animals and be disgusted, especially the idea of eating sentient beings. And I'm not a vegan myself, so I'm a big hypocrite, but you know what? I think they're right. I think, honestly, the big elephant in the room is that the vegans are right and we cause a lot of animal suffering, and there's no reason why we should be doing that in the future when we can just grow 3D meat. And even now, like, if you have wealth, you can practice veganism. That's something I aspire to do one day, but I'm slowly just cutting things out. Like I'm trying to cut out pork slowly, just because I know how sentient pigs are, and it's an easy one to cut out because I already don't really like the taste. So that's what I'm starting with there. Other things for the future. Religion and science are going to collide like this. Essentially, a lot of the things that were espoused in the Abrahamic religions are going to be proven true through science. Like we already know this with the observer effect, that essentially photons change like the way they interact, the way they exist in the universe based on whether we are viewing them or not. So that has a lot of strange implications. Things like, reality is an illusion and so forth. I think we're going to find that there are many realities, that there are many dimensions, that we can interact with these beings from other dimensions, that they can have physical impacts on our universe and our reality. I think that it's going to be common sense. I think it's going to be something that everyone just knows inherently, just like how we all accept the sky is blue. We're going to accept that this isn't the only reality. Disclosure. Now here's the one that people might think I'm retarded for, but whatever. I definitely think within 5 years it will be confirmed by a president of the United States or a leader in Europe that we have been in contact with aliens since at least the Roswell incident in the 1950s, and that there is some sort of galactic federation. This is a really out there claim, but you know what? There are so many stars out there, so many stars more than the grains of sand on Earth, many more planets than there are even stars. So the chances of us being the only thing out there are extraordinarily slim. And just look how much technological progress we've had in, let's say, my grandpa's lifetime. So my grandpa grew up in rural Newfoundland, and he had to heat the stove. He had to heat the potbelly stove to heat the home. He had to go out and get the wood. He had to go out and there was a crapper outside. That was the only thing you could do at outhouse. They had a vegetable cellar, and it was horse and buggy. Fast forward to today, Gramps is on TikTok. Gramps has an iPad. He's got a 90-inch TV. He's living it up. But just think about how much change he experienced in one lifetime, and he's still alive. So to think that another species hasn't hit that like rapid development phase is a little bit silly to me. And I think they have hit that phase, and I think that they've reached Earth, which I know is not a very popular opinion and makes me out to be like kind of stupid, but I don't care. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence, weird photos that couldn't have been faked that were taken back in the day, back in like the 1920s, of like weird discs, weird drawings of discs from ancient cultures, all the stuff the U.S. military is releasing, and Bob Lazar's story. If you don't know Bob Lazar, get familiar with him, and you might just change your mind on alien spacecrafts being here on Earth and being worked on. So yeah, I think the esoteric and science are going to combine, and there's going to be some incredible revelations. I'm trying to think what else. What other things can I make a prediction about? Genres. I think genres are going to die. I don't think the term genre will be a thing. It'll just be music. No one will even try and classify music because it will be made of so many different elements and experimentalism. And unfortunately, AI will be mixed into there, and it will basically be an endless. It'll just be music. It's already kind of happening today. With hyperpop groups and some rappers and things like that. And I think this is also going to come in the form of gender. So I don't think there's going to be gender in the far future. I think we're already seeing this now, like with the rise of things like soft boys, e-boys, femboys, and more dominant women in our society. I think that gender is going to essentially flip for a little bit, where we will live in a somewhat of a matriarchal society. Again, this is far in the future. I'm aware of how fucked up things are right now. But then I think we will essentially become genderless through science, because we will be replacing our bodies. We will be replacing different body parts. Transgenderism will be accepted in the future, and essentially having a penis or a vagina won't matter at all, and we might even become an intersex species, like fully. So that's one prediction. I put that maybe 100 years from now. Maybe 200. 100 is a bit quick for the patriarchy to die off. Maybe 200 is quick too. This fucking thing has been around for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. My final prediction is that we will basically... I don't have one. I was just bullshitting there, but I'm trying to think of one more final prediction to end this video. Okay, here's one. Reincarnation will be proven to be real, and people will accept that we are essentially cells in the organism that is the universe. So it's just going to be like all the psychedelic people tell you the same fucking shit. We're all one. We're all the same thing. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be commonly accepted that we are just little worker ants in this big, massive fucking colony, and we don't know shit what's going on. I think that's what science will determine too one day, is that we are not equipped to know enough about the world, and we never will be. I just think that there are so many mysteries and chaotic systems interacting with each other and fusing with each other and declining and rising, that it's all going to be a fucking mess. We're not going to be able to determine if things like determinism is real or if the universe truly is chaotic. We'll never fucking know that shit. I don't even know if we'll find out if robots are sentient one day, because they're already showing some signs, but then there are a lot of people that argue they aren't. Anyways. I also think in the near future... Here's one more. In the near future... I lied. Oh, okay, here's one more for the near future. The balkanization of the West. So essentially what's going to happen is there's going to be irreconcilable differences in the United States between the red states and the blue states, and both have a lot of power, both have a lot of military might. Essentially what's going to happen is they are going to balkanize, meaning they are going to split up, they are going to have a national divorce, California will be aligned with New York, and the East Coast in general. Like the coasts will become very socialist, and places like Texas, Arkansas will be very red, like Handmaid's Tale red. And I also think Alberta ultimately will separate, unfortunately. I do think we will become either a part of this red state coalition or our own independent thing for a while that eventually gets absorbed into the red coalition, or we get absorbed into the US. Either way, I don't see Alberta remaining in Canada for too much longer, unfortunately. As much as I would like the opposite to be true. Alright, so I think that's where I'll leave it for today. I want to see if any of these predictions come true in my lifetime, so I'm hoping that, YouTube is around in 30, 40, 50 years so I can look back and watch this, and I just like having this is just some end of the video shit, so if you want to click off, that's all good, but I just want to have stuff that I can look back on and say, look, I did this, I made these predictions, I made these videos, I had fun doing it. That's what this is all about, man. This is what this entire channel is about. It's just me having fun and wanting to leave an imprint on the world. And I think that's something that we all do inherently, but I want to do it maybe a little bit more than average Joe. So, if you're new, I would really, really appreciate if you subscribe, because I'd love to have these conversations. I'd love to be able to interact with chat. It'll basically be a space where the chat types questions to me, and I respond and I give my answer and my thoughts. It's a little bit narcissistic, but if you're fucking talking about other shit in the chat, like, get lost, man. Don't talk to each other in the chat. Talk to me in the chat. Call me out if I'm on some bullshit and we can do a live debate or whatever the fuck. But if you sub and you get me to 50 subscribers, that's the magical number that YouTube needs to allow live streaming. It's fucking stupid, but I really want to get there and I really want to live stream. So please, please, please hit subscribe, even if you have no intention of ever watching my videos again. Okay, goodbye.